How's it going, everyone? My name's Aiden. Welcome back to today's day 244. Posting back on this channel, back in the journey once again. Hopefully, you all are having such a great Tuesday today. Another day in the week, of course. We are back. 3 more days until the weekend. So let's keep on going and keep on chugging along. With that being said, today's message that I want to talk about is give yourself the closure that they didn't give you. And before we get into today's message, let's talk about the day a little bit. Last night, went to bed at a reasonable time and woke up feeling great. Went on a 1.3 mile run today, as well as hit some legs. And I did that all before therapy at 1 o'clock. So I was really proud about that. Just got home from the bank not too long ago. And the only thing I look for tonight is class at 6. It's currently 3:45. And after that, I'm going to be eating a tons of food and sleeping well once again. But back to today's message. Give yourself the closure that they didn't give you. There's always a time in your life when you have somebody say something that's hurtful to you, something that you didn't like, and something that makes you feel like crap. And when that happens, you know, whether it's a friend, in a relationship or, family member, it's important to have forgiveness, you know. Not always being forgiving of everything because there are some things out there that just aren't worth forgiving for. But in most cases, be forgiving. And with being forgiving, there's something that you have to make it known that you care more about actions instead of words because the phrase goes, which is so true, actions speak louder than words. And if there are people in your life that are sitting there and that are saying things to you or doing things to you that are very harmful, they have no right to be in your life. They don't deserve the position of what they have with you. So make it known that, hey, what you're doing isn't right. I think, if you want to be my friend, you can't do stuff like that. Because sometimes I think we let ourselves, blow past what some people do because of how long they've been in our lives. And I've had that before when I was in a group chat with all these kids that I thought that they were my friends. I knew them for quite a while, and they said some pretty hurtful things. Relating failing to a math test is the same thing as the stress I had of when my dad passed. Something that I think is not okay to say, in which they try to apologize for it and make it up. But I was forgiving because I have a big heart and I tend to forgive a lot of people for a lot of things I should not be forgiving for. But how I always align it, especially my friends, is actions speak louder than words. So if you're actually sorry, do something about it. Actually, not do the things that you say that you're going to do. And when they don't abide by it, you're just not fit to be in my life. But even just kind of about friendships, relationships as well, it's important to have forgiveness, but also teach your partner that, actions will always speak louder than words. You know, whether, you're first starting to talk to somebody and everything, boundaries are important to have. I think, if you want someone to reach out to you, have a balanced effort of making plans, everything, it needs to be said. Because you can't just expect that from people because not everyone is like that. But, you know, when good friendships end or good relationships and good connections between people end, sometimes you don't always need an apology. You don't need someone to say, hey, I'm really sorry for what I did. I hope you can understand that. Sometimes you can just pick yourself up and move on. And that's something that I've been learning with myself, is that there are times where people have said, really hurtful things, and they're like, "Hey, like, I'm sorry, whatever." And I'm like, "No, no, no, it's good. Like, I'm forgiving." But I just pick myself up and I just move on, because I kind of realize that their position in my life is not needed, and I can't sit there and deal with stuff like that for the rest of my time being. So it's okay to not always get an explanation for everything or get an apology. Sometimes you just gotta pick yourself up and you just gotta keep on going. Something that I've learned to help me with that is fulfill it with things that make you happy. You know, whether it's being with your other friends, reading a book, going on a walk, everything. I mean, whenever you have some like loose space in your life, something that, kind of needs to be there, you don't always have to fill it, but if it's needed, fill it with things that you love. Because not only is it, going to take that space, but it's also, you know, going to be such a bigger passion for you. And I bet that if you love something, you should go for it. Always, in every situation. Always go for it. But you don't always need closure from all the people that have hurt you and that, have said mean stuff to you, because they're just people. And I know that they might have been such a big part in your life, but you also have to think about it. You could look at it as, oh, one day they're going to get bad karma, but sometimes the bad karma is them acting the way that they do. It's the person that they are. So sometimes in life, you just got to pick yourself up and heal on your own. Do the things that you love, find peace and comfort within yourself, and it all gets easier. But with that being said, guys, I hope you all have such a great rest of the day. And remember to take care of yourself. Use every matter, and I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.